The trial of Hissene Habre is expected to kick off on Monday. The former leader had fled to Senegal after being toppled in a coup in 1990. The trial marks the first time a court in one country prosecutes the former ruler of another on human rights charges. Rights groups hold Habre responsible for the torture or killing of up to 40,000 people during his 8 years in power.
This is a chance to show that an African court can deliver justice for African victims for crimes committed in Africa. I mean, it's one thing to complain about having abusive African presidents and leaders sent to The Hague. It's another thing to show that they can be prosecuted and get a fair trial here in Africa.
A special tribunal created in 2013 will hear the trial, which is expected to last around 3 months. The court is endorsed by the African Union and backed financially by Chad and Western donors. Souleymane Gwengweng survived 2.5 years in Habre's prisons. He then spent 3 years secretly compiling a file of testimony from hundreds of victims after Habre's fall. Gwengweng is among 100 victims expected to testify at the trial.
When I saw my colleagues dying, and the enormous suffering that they inflicted on us, the hunger, even refusing to take us to the hospital when we were sick, I made a vow to God to keep me alive, that if I survived, I should not let such things pass in silence.
Habre's lawyers say that he is innocent of all charges. They say Habre has a heart condition and will not appear at the trial. His lawyers also say they will not attend, saying there has been no presumption of innocence.
We think that if our client is to be judged, it should be in accordance with rules that apply to international tribunals, respecting the high standards including the presumption of innocence and the right to defense. But in this affair, from the outset, it has been Hissene Habre is guilty, and let's go out and find evidence that justifies this guilt.
Senegalese rights activist and attorney for the victims Assane Diomandie says the trial must be fair if it is to serve as a model for African justice.
This is a gamble we must absolutely win. We have the tendency to criticize the International Criminal Court, to say that the court is judging the sons of Africa. Now that we have the opportunity to judge our own sons, we have to be up to the task.
For victims like Souleymane Gwengweng, this trial should be a lesson to African leaders. Leslie Marungu, CCTV.